Every day, an estimated 2,500 young people are newly infected with HIV, according to a 2011 global report on HIV prevention. People aged 15 to 24 accounted for 41% of new infections among adults in 2009. And globally, young women make up more than 60% of all young people living with HIV. This is the main reason behind the National AIDS Program's drive to focus on youth sexual health education in their upcoming school tour.
To speak to the guys on the block, as well as young persons in every secondary school in the territory about HIV/AIDS, we have a young man coming in from St. Martin who's been living with HIV for the last 6 years. And he will share his experience and let young men and women know that it can happen to them as well. We also plan to expand our focus. So we're looking at teens who are having abortion. Our abortion rate in the BVI is very high. It speaks to unprotected sex. It speaks to condom use. And besides the pregnancy rate, our abortion rate is high. And so we have young persons who have had abortions who can share with our teens why it's not very healthy to continuously have abortions. We have young teenage moms and dads who have gotten pregnant in high school or college to also speak to their peers about the challenges of being a teenage parent. And we also have a young lady who will speak to the drawbacks, the issues she's had to contend with after being sexually molested as a child. We want to touch on all the sexual and reproductive issues that our young people have to deal with. There's alcohol, there's drug use, and to be honest with you, everything is related.
Mrs. Clark was speaking to JTV News about the National AIDS Program's annual National Summit on Sexual Health and HIV/AIDS in observation of World AIDS Day on December 1st. Popular reggae star Tanya Stephens is among the many presenters.
We have a play. It's our first World AIDS Day drama production called The Tangled Web. And you would be amazed to see how many persons have come together to make this production a success. Persons in the BVI need to come out and see this production. It actually highlights and touches on every single social issue that surrounds the HIV/AIDS epidemic. It shows how one person living with HIV can infect so many others in a tangled web of deceit. Then in the afternoon, we have Mr. Gordon Joseph, who is an evangelist from the Turks and Caicos, who is going to share what it's like living with HIV/AIDS. And yes, a lot of people would be surprised to know that Christians can be infected with HIV too. So he's going to share his story. It's a very powerful story, and it's one that's very applicable to many of us. And then we're going to end the day with Miss Vivian Tanya Stephens, international reggae artist from Jamaica, who has been named by the I Live Up campaign as the I Live Up champion of HIV.
The Caribbean has the second highest HIV prevalence rate in the world, and AIDS is a leading cause of death among 15 to 44-year-olds in the Caribbean. The spread of HIV is also increasing in the region. The National AIDS Program Coordinator warned that although statistics show a slight decline in the number of reported HIV/AIDS cases in the BVI from 2008 to 2012, the disease is still very prevalent.
Globally, around the world, approximately 2,500 to 3,000 persons are infected with HIV on a daily basis. Every hour, about 300. In the BVI, even though our statistics appear to be decreasing, given that in 2008, we had 9 new cases, 2009, 9 new cases, 2010, 7 new cases, 2011, 6, and then this year, 2012, 5. Those numbers seem to be decreasing, but that's not an absolute. There is no proof to that. Those are just the numbers that have been reported to the Ministry of Health and Social Development. The reality still exists. We are still at risk, and the epidemic is still prevalent.
The National AIDS Program's observation of World AIDS Day concludes after the National Summit on Sexual Health and HIV/AIDS at the college grounds with the annual candlelight ceremony and balloon release on December 1st.